Hello guys! In my first video I told a story about buying defective Harbeth speakers, which was a complete surprise for me since there are only good feedbacks and reviews everywhere. I continued to search for information about Harbeth's defects in order to dispel the marketing myth about their exclusivity and prove that my case is not the only one. In 2017 on the What Hi-Fi site, user HappyListener posted a review in which he complained about assemblers' fingerprints on the radial driver. I find these whitish marks fingerprints on the speakers. They did not wrap up with the cotton cloth. They weren't for me as I used cotton gloves. They were actually embedded in the varnish itself. Okay, perhaps they are faint, but they are there. Enough to bother someone knowing they were there. One speaker has 4 of these marks prints on the side. The other speaker has about 6 marks prints on the back of it. One clearly looks just like a thumbprint. Also, one of the speakers' binding posts has an unfinished machined mark across it. I don't think any of this is acceptable. In my last video, I also talked about the uneven color of the driver basket. Here is a look at the photo from the German website Hi-Fi Test. Am I the only one who sees these lighted spots on the basket? Do you see them? What's it? Here are random photos of Harbeth speakers from the network. The driver's basket has an uneven color. There are discolored areas. This is a quite common. Come on guys, am I the only one who noted this? Take any driver of European company for example, there will be no such defect there. Further, for the experiment I recommend that all Harbeth owners take a flashlight and shine it on the cone of the radial driver. You will immediately see the scratches. Lots of scratches. No matter how hard they try at the Harbeth factory to cover these scratches with polish, they are visible scratches. Or just Harbeth hope that you wouldn't see it. You can see the scratches. Is this normal? I haven't seen this anywhere else. Thank goodness my Harbeth badges haven't come off yet. But judging by the information from the network, this is fairly common defect. Personally, I'm surprised to see such a defect in the speakers at a price of $3,000 for the cheapest model in the series. Or is it not expensive enough to keep the logo from falling off? On the website Part-Time Audiophile, there is a review of Harbeth speakers. There are some photos for review which show several defects at once: an unevenly colored driver basket and some kind of seam on the driver's rubber suspension. I assume that this defect occurred when gluing the rubber suspension of the driver's basket. But why were the speakers with this defect approved by quality control? In my opinion, this case best shows how low the level of quality control at Harbeth is. There are other less common defects of Harbeth speakers in the network. For example, in this review on the Audio Karma forum, a user complains that the glue with which the damping material was glued is so weak that during transportation the damping parts inside the box came off. And finally, for fans of long-running TV series, there is a story from White Hart on the Hi-Fi Wigwam website. This user in his post tells a fascinating story about how Harbeth sold him speakers without grills, and then for almost a year they tried to make these grills for him. Since this user lives in the UK, Harbeth assemblers came to him several times to measure and install the grills, but each time they couldn't insert the made grills into the Harbeth speakers. The story ends quite positively. Harbeth sent other speakers with grills to replace them, but not everyone is so lucky. In addition, judging by this story, Whiteheart has spent a lot of nerves and time of his life on this problem. All these stories are not everything. There are others. And here the question is not even in sound, because it is subjective question, like it or not like it. Here the question is quite objective, in low quality control. Such defects can be excusable at a price of $200, for example. Well, okay, let it be even $1,200, but guys, the speakers that I bought cost almost $7,000. So why the hell is it so bad? And this is despite the fact that we haven't yet talked about the rough assembly inside the box. Just don't open the lid. And thanks for your attention.